Welcome back to the latest episode of Fine Wine and Good Times. I am your host, best-selling author Tracy Brown. Happy to be in the building tonight with my co-host, Shy.
Hi.
Good to see you, girl. You looking good in that blue.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Yes, we missed her last episode, but she's back and she's in effect.
Yes.
Our other co-host, Tamika, could not be with us tonight, but Tamika will be back for our next episode. And in her absence, we're going to hold her down.
Hold it down.
In the meantime, we have a special guest with us tonight, an extra special VIP guest, all the way from Bed-Stuy, BK. We have the DJ, the broadcaster, the record executive, radio personality, DJ Mr. C.
Woo!
What the?
Woo!
Thank you so much for joining us.
What the hell was those air horns?
We like to keep you on your toes here at Fine Wine and Good Times.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. And Tamika, much love to you. I was looking forward to meeting you, but, maybe next time.
Yes, hopefully next time. This won't be your last time here. So for anybody who's been under a rock for the last 100 years, DJ Mr. C is responsible for some of the icons, the greats, the legends in hip-hop. Just to name a couple, Big Daddy Kane, okay, Biggie Smalls, and we're going to talk about his impact on hip-hop and all the things that he has, the opinions that he has about today's music and all like that. But first, we got to get into a few logistics. While we're holding Tamika down, don't forget to go out and get your copy of Hold You Down, which is in stores everywhere books are sold on the planet. It's in Braille, audio book.
Wow.
Every electronic edition, paperback, hardcover, you can get it everywhere books are sold. Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, everywhere books are sold, okay?
Yes, go
and
get y'all
Essence
that.
Magazine, don't take my word for it. Essence Magazine named it its #1 book to read this winter. Thank you. So make sure you go out and get your copy.
Woo!
In fact, I understand Valentine's Day is coming. And ladies, if you're looking for a thoughtful gift to get your man, because it ain't all about us receiving all the time. Am I right, Shy?
We gotta give
We
some.
got to look out for old boys sometimes. So make sure you get a copy because it's the kind of book that couples can read together, friends can read together. And Mr. C, I would like to gift this to you.
Oh,
I hope
thank
that
yay!
Yes.
Okay,
I hope
thank you.
that you enjoy that. Let me know
a
what you
little paperback.
think.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
OG paperback.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
So
it.
I want to get right into it. Shy, do you have anything you want to before we anything you want to tell the people about?
No, as always, you can catch me on TikTok at CEESMIZZC Smith. That's me. You can also follow me on Instagram at I'm Shy with 2 underscores. I'll be posting and whatnot.
Yes,
so.
she does.
Oh wait, I have something new. Kind of.
Okay.
Something in the works.
What you got?
It has to do with food. I'm a foodie.
Oh, she's a foodie.
Y'all know I'm a food connoisseur. Mr.
Yes.
C, I'm a food connoisseur. So
Okay.
if you ever need places to eat, I know you're from Brooklyn and whatever, but if you ever need places to eat, I got you.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna start like a food blog type of thing.
I
I've been
like
taking
it.
pictures of everything I'm eating, whether it's homemade or in the restaurant, and I'm thinking about starting that because shout out to Keith Lee. I don't know if you know Keith Lee.
I don't.
He's going up on TikTok right now
Okay.
because he started off basically doing what I want to do, which is like not judging food, but like
Giving
tasting
your
the food.
opinion, right.
Yeah, giving his opinion on the local food
I
markets
like
and
that.
stuff like that. And now he has brand deals with Chipotle.
Yes.
It's a lot.
food influencer,
Exactly.
if you will. I
That's
like
exactly.
It. Yes.
So Keith, me and you gonna be meeting soon. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
Okay. I love it, Shy.
Thank you.
All right. What was the best thing you ate this week?
Okay. Homemade. My mom made some. I wanted shrimp scampi, so we were looking for recipes, and she found some crispy shrimp scampi. It had like lemon and breadcrumbs and
Oh, that sounds delicious.
shallots, and we put some bread on some garlic bread with some butter sauce with some lemon.
Yes.
It was delicious.
They know how to eat over there.
and do.
Mr. C, I know you've been traveling the world. Tell us what you had this week that most impressed you. What was the best thing you ate this week?
Oh, believe it or not, I had some mixed vegetables from Junior's restaurant. Believe it or not.
I love me some Juniors.
Wait, so you went to Junior's and you had mixed vegetables?
They make a lot of people sleep on Junior's because they
Yes.
talk about the cheesecake and all that.
Yes.
but they make some incredible mixed vegetables. So the mixed vegetables that they make at Junior's, and I was at the Junior's in Manhattan.
Okay.
It tastes exactly like Junior's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
But
More touristy.
I was out in Manhattan for some business, so
Okay.
I had some time to kill. So I said, let me. I had never been to the Junior's in Manhattan,
Okay.
so I was like, I want to see if it tastes like the Junior's in Brooklyn.
Right.
So I tried the mixed vegetables, which I always get in Brooklyn. So the way they make the mixed vegetables, it's like shredded.
Oh.
So
okay.
you know, but it's excellent.
Are you a vegetarian?
No, I just try to eat right. You know what I
Okay.
mean? You know, I'm 56.
You
so
look like you're in great shape.
Wow,
Mr.
I
C.
didn't
no,
even-
I mean I got
56.
I got a lot more work to do.
Okay.
I'm 56, and I just try to eat right. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like just try to eat the good things. You know, most of the time.
Health is wealth. I noticed that you're not partaking in the fine wine, just a good time. So how long have you been alcohol free?
Well, I never drunk ever in my life.
Never.
No, I never.
Impressive. Can we clap it up for that? I don't
Yes.
think there's
Never.
enough people. I don't hear enough people saying that.
Yeah,
For real.
I never drunk, never smoked.
Wow.
And doing what you do, you would think like
Exactly.
party life. You
Nah,
know.
the worst thing that I got drunk off of was like when I was 17. My grandmother made rum cake, and I got drunk eating half of the rum cake.
Okay, so you're really
Wow.
not a drinker.
So I'm
if
not
that
a drinker.
did it for you.
And then you know, you may remember this. I don't know if you remember this, but you know, back in like the late 70s, early 80s, there was this wine cooler that was out back in the days called Calvin Cooler.
Okay.
And and I drunk it and got lit off of it.
That's
because it had my name
hilarious.
on it. Calvin is my real name.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was like it was the main wine cooler back in the days.
Okay.
And so I just tried it because it had my name on it, and I
Right.
got buzzed off of that. But
And
I
you
don't
didn't like
drink.
the
I don't
feeling.
smoke.
You didn't like the feeling of that.
It's the main thing. Like I was raised by my grandparents, and so they just always told me, you know, it's what your parents don't drink, don't
Exactly,
smoke.
right.
And that's one of the things that just always stuck with me. So
That is impressive. Like Shai said, in the industry that you're in, you know, that you never allowed that. You know, I'm sure then in certain rooms, being the only sober person, you must have some memories of nights that others don't have memory of. You know
Right.
what
yeah,
I mean?
and then I, you know, in so many circles that I've been around, you know, especially like being on the road with Big Daddy Kane, you know, I was always the weirdo
Okay.
out of the crew.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
'cause-
everybody be drinking 40 ounces and stuff like that, and I was not drinking.
Okay.
So they, you know, I was like the weirdo of the crew.
Okay, so you got teased a lot. I want to get into that. So you went to Sarah J. Hale High School in BK.
Yes,
And that's where you met Big Daddy Kane. Am I correct?
yes, that's where we met.
Am I
Wow.
right that he challenged you to a rap battle? Did I read something like that?
No,
No.
no. It was I was battling some rappers in the lunchroom.
Okay.
Because I was DJing for a rap group around my way in Bed-Stuy. The rap group was called the Magnum Force.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it was like 5 rappers and myself and another DJ, AJ Fresh. We was the DJs. Rest in peace to AJ Fresh. He's no
Yes.
longer here. But I was using their rhymes to battle other rappers in the school.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I'm like battling. And, you know, back then that's when we used to bang on the tables and, you know, do
Yes.
the rhyme. And so I would using my crew's rhymes. And so one of the guys in the lunchroom was like, I'm going to get MC Kane on you. So I was like, who the hell is MC Kane? So we come out of the lunchroom, we come out of the lunch period, and this guy just rolled up on me with the old school Curtis Blow jacket.
Oh,
If-
my God.
If y'all could pull up an old school picture of
Yes,
Curtis Blow when he
Curtis
had
Blow.
on like the waist high white
I
jacket.
know exactly the jacket.
This guy pulled up on me with that type of jacket on, and he was like, "Yo, you want to battle?" And I'm like, "What?" Because he just came at me awkward.
Right.
And next thing you know, he pulled out a microphone from his inside pocket.
Oh, he was ready.
He had the
Who
we in
walks
school.
around with the
What?
microphone
school.
on ready? I can't.
He said,
And
y'all
Okay.
niggas
he
not
pulled
ready.
out the microphone from his inside pocket, and he
Okay.
started, "I'm MC Kane."
And if I'm imagining the crowd is like, oh.
It didn't even get to that point. I was
Okay,
I was
all right.
looking at him like a weirdo, like, "Yo, break out, dude!" Like, what? So I kind of just like walked away from him or whatever. And then maybe the next day at lunch period or a day after, I go into the lunchroom and there's a big crowd in the lunchroom, and I go over there where the crowd was at, and there was the MC Kane dude rhyming, and he was just rapping, and he was like, "I got braids in my hair just like Stevie Wonder." So this is like maybe 82.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When he kind of, that was that one line that just stuck with me. That when, you know, and so when I heard him kick that line right after lunch period, I was like, "Yo, man, come around my way, man. You know, like come get down with my crew, or you know, just come hear me DJ." And he was like, "Nah, I don't roll with no crew. I'm solo. I don't really." You know, but I convinced him to come to my neighborhood, Lafayette Garden Projects in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And he came around. He heard the way I DJ. He met some of the other rappers in the crew, and we all just became friends, and he kind of got down with my crew.
That's amazing.
That's fire.
Where did you learn the art of DJing?
I learned how to DJ from my late uncle, my Uncle Barry, and my late next-door neighbor, Anthony. They was best friends. And we, you know, of course, we lived next door to each other.
Take us back to the time. Set the scene. It's 80s. It
was
the
like
late 70s?
This is like late 70s, like the disco era.
Okay.
My Uncle Barry and our next door neighbor Anthony, they was like a DJ crew.
Okay.
And my uncle, his name was DJ Knight, and so Anthony was another one of the members of the DJ crew. So it was DJ Knight, my Uncle Barry. That was his name. It was DJ Knight and the Knights of Hollywood. So that just tells you how old school, how far back it was. So that was like the late 70s, 78, 79.
Wow.
And just from watching my uncle and my neighbor Anthony DJ, I started picking up on DJing. But they wouldn't let me, well, my uncle wouldn't let me use his DJ set at my grandmother's house. So
it's expensive equipment. Is that why?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my next door neighbor Anthony allowed me to be on his set. So he was like, "Listen, you know, come next door, or whatever the case is." So I would go next door and kind of just watch him do something, and he would just leave the apartment, and then I just would be in his room practicing.
For hours.
And that's how I kind of slowly but surely got my skills up.
Okay.
And then a little bit later on, Easy Mo B, who's like a legendary producer. He lived in my building.
Okay.
I lived on the 8th floor. He lived on the 11th floor. And him and Norman Witch Doctor Glover, both of them was like, produced a lot of records for Biggie's first album, Ready to Die. If you look at the credits, those were my childhood friends. So once I started learning from my uncle and my next door neighbor, Anthony, then I would go upstairs to Easy Mo B and Witch Doctor House and pick up skills from them, because they was a little bit way more advanced than my uncle and my next door neighbor.
Right.
And then once I started picking up the skills from them, I would steal their DJ routines. Because they was the type of DJs that was like they was nice on the set.
Right.
But they never went outside. They was like, you know, they was kind of shy, but their parents was somewhat strict, wouldn't let them do DJ block parties and like that. So they never was outside.
Exactly.
So I would steal their tricks and stuff.
Right,
and
take it outside.
And take it outside to the
Right.
block parties or the house parties. And then that's how I started becoming more well-known in my projects. Yeah.
Amazing. How did you get the nickname The Finisher?
Oh, well, The Finisher, I was actually, during my Hot 97 days, you know, everybody had a moniker. Like, you know, Funkmaster Flex was the Kingpin. You know, like everybody had like a moniker next to their name. So at first, I was calling myself the strongest finisher in the game, Mr. C.
I remember that. Yes, I remember hearing that on the radio.
I was going with that. And then Fat Man Scoop, who I used to work with at Hot 97, he used to just always be like, finisher. Like, even though my name was the strongest finisher in the game, he would just cut it short and be like, finisher. And so because he called me that all the time, I just cut the whole line short and just started calling myself the finisher.
I think it's such a dope moniker. All right, so what memories do you have of creating Long Live the Cane? Because you were, am I correct, you produced that?
I produced, did I do anything on? No, I did a lot of scratches on Long Live the Cane. Marley Marl
DJ'd on it.
Marley Marl was credited as the producer.
Okay.
So it was really like Marley Marl and Kane.
Okay.
You know, with co-production. Marley Marl got most of the credit for the debut album for Long Live the Cane, but Kane did a lot of co-production. I did maybe 95% of the scratches on the album. But the experience of recording that first album, at first we recorded it at Marley's house in Queens, in Astoria, Queens.
Okay.
Because at that time Marley had moved out of Queensbridge Projects and he got his own apartment in Astoria, Queens. And so the first early recordings of Long Live the Cane, we did it at Marley's apartment in Astoria, Queens. And then towards the middle or the end of the album, Marley moved more upstate New York. And then we started finishing up the album upstate.
Wow.
So it was a great experience. Just like like one of the songs on the album called "On the Bug Tip" is featured Big Daddy Kane and Scoop Lover, who was one of our dancers.
Yes, yes.
And there's a part in the record where at the end of the song, going back to the high school days of banging on the table, we kind of used that element, and we was banging on Marley's studio door, and Kane and Scoop was rapping, and we kind of used that
I love it.
high school banging on the table effect
Yes.
to put it on record. So just innovative stuff like that, and then when we moved to Marley's house upstate, I remember having to do scratches for one of our songs. It was a song called "The Wrath of Cain," and I remember having to do the scratches on the floor because there was no table set up.
Oh, wow.
So we had to put the turntables on the floor, and I had to literally do the scratches on my knees on the floor.
That's crazy.
So just little stuff like that, and just try to be innovative, but still be effective and making successful records at the time.
And how old were you at this time that you're making all this history?
Oh, what? Well, 56. I'm 56. 66. 76, 86, 20. Up 20, 21.
Very young man.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're in the midst of Big Daddy Kane, Marley Marl, the greats, the icons of early hip hop. How did you hear about, discover Biggie Smalls? Like, how did that take place?
I met Biggie through his first DJ, 50 Grand. He just recently passed away in 2022.
Oh man.
And 50 Grand, me and 50 Grand grew up together in the Bed-Stuy area. And we always DJed together at block parties and park jams and stuff like that. And 50 Grand used to tell me about, there's this dude, Big, from Fulton Street. You got to hear him. You got to hear him. So I'm like, at that time, I was actually getting ready to go on tour with Kane.
Okay.
So I had told 50 Grand, whatever day we was coming back from tour, let's say if I said, we'll be back from tour September 27th. When I come back from tour, bring the demo to me, and I'll listen to it.
Okay.
So I promise y'all, the night that I came back from tour, I didn't even unpack my luggage or turntables. 50 Grand was in front of my house with the demo.
Wow.
And I let him upstairs in my apartment, and he played the demo for me. And so this was the actual Biggie demo that Biggie recorded with 50 Grand in his basement. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Yes, this
Yes.
is crazy.
Yes.
I'll give you a little piece of it.
All right, please.
Okay, here we go.
Yo, we got DJ 50 Grand, Big D, RC, and Money, and the undisputed B.I.G., that's me. A whole lot of want Big to make a demo tape, especially that pump again. This going out to you and recognize. Yo, 50, what's this? It's a demo. 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 Murderer, mass mayhem maker. B.I.G.'s on the mic, call the Undertaker. Make an appointment, schedule an interview. Because you know what big man's about to do. 50 Grand on the technique at the right beat. Brothers want to hear the words big man speak. The microphone, I'm ripping. The burner got the clipping. Slamming them C's like Scottie Pippen.
This is so now mind y'all, this is 1991
Wow.
when he did this basement demo when Biggie did this basement demo with 50 Grand. So the beauty of when I first heard this demo was that Biggie was rapping to the same beat that me and Kane used for Ain't No Half Step.
Half stepping, yes.
So it was, for me, the wow effect was not even just here's this young kid sounding so dope in 1991, but it's like he's rhyming to one of the biggest hit records
Absolutely.
that I was a part of. So
Yes.
Immediately when I heard it, I was like, I knew about the Source magazine was doing this contest called Unsigned Hype,
Yes.
where you
Shout
can
out to
submit
the Source.
demos.
Yes.
And then, you can get picked to be on the Unsigned Hype album. So I was telling Biggie and 50 Grand about it, that I would like to submit that demo, redo it. Because at that time, the demo was done at 50 Grand's house. So it was very airy, very hissy. So we redid the demo at my house.
Okay.
So I explained to Biggie, we're going to redo the demo, and I'm going to submit it to Maddie C at the Source magazine. And we're gonna see what happens. And Biggie was very shy at the time. He always talked with his head down. Yo, man, you know, whatever you wanna do, man, you know. So we redid the demo, submitted it to Maddie C. They loved it, and he was featured in Unsigned Hype in the Source magazine.
Right.
Fire.
And then the record label Relativity Records, they wanted to sign Biggie for the Unsigned Hype album, but the contract was just
Not right.
it was horrible. So I held off on having Big sign that contract.
Oh, wow.
So we wind up not doing the Unsigned Hype album.
Okay.
He was featured in the Source, but we wind up not
Never
doing
did the album.
Nah, we wind up not having those songs be a part of it. It was just a horrible deal.
Right.
So
And thank God you had the foresight to peep that
Yeah.
and advise him against it.
So lo and behold, at the same time that I was, that this was the Unsigned Hype thing was going on, I was shopping a demo for my album.
Okay.
Because I was trying to do a Mr. C album. And so I'm shopping like 5 songs to different labels to try to do a Mr. C album. Because at that time, DJs was putting out albums. You had Kid Capri, he put out an album. You had
Yes.
Terminator X from Public Enemy put out an album. You had Pete Rock. He was doing, rocking with Pete Rock and CL Smooth. So I was kind of trying to take a bite of what they was doing. I was like, I want to put out a Mr. C album.
Okay.
So I'm shopping 5 demos, and one of the demos was a song I did with Big, called Biggie Got the Hype Shit. I don't know if we can curse, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
so it was a song called Biggie Got the Hype Shit. So I'm gonna play a little bit of that for y'all too.
This is a treat.
I can't even believe this.
So-
I feel blessed.
And this is unreleased, never been out.
I love it.
So
You're hearing this
I love
first
it.
on the
So
Fine Wine and
this
Good
was
Times
originally for my album. So I'll play a little bit for y'all
Okay,
right now.
All right.
Well, who is Biggie Small?
Notorious Biggie Small, in full effect. Got my DJ 50 grand in the house, you know what I'm saying? I'ma drop a nice long rhyme on this funky track. You know how we get down, yo. Shake your head and say damn when the words from Big Man explode like an ash can while DJ 50 grand kick beats like Van Damme. That fighting ass introducing a supreme big again. Yes, it's the beat.
Okay.
That was originally for my album. And so as I'm shopping it to all these different record labels, Def Jam, Jive Records, everybody was like, the songs is okay, but who is this Biggie Got the Hype shit? Who is Biggie?
okay.
Biggie, who is that? And so the Mr. C album turned into a bidding war for Biggie.
Oh, wow.
Because everybody wanted to know about
Who's
this particular
this kid?
song.
Right.
So now that's going on. And then at the same time that's going on, a guy named Puff Daddy is calling Maddie C at the Source and was asking Maddie C at the Source about the Unsigned
Who's this
Hype.
Unsigned
Right.
Hype kid?
And then he heard the Biggie joint from Unsigned Hype. Well,
So
Maddie,
you're
you know what?
right there.
He
Yeah.
asked Maddie who's the best rapper from Unsigned Hype.
Okay.
And Maddie C said, well, this is a dude named Biggie Smalls and the Hitman 50 grand. And the first thing Puffy asked Maddie C was, well, how does he look? And Maddie was like, well, he ain't the best looking guy, but he
Right.
can
Okay.
rap his ass off. And
Right.
then Puff was like, well, how do I get in touch with him? And Maddie was like, you got to contact Mr. C.
Yes.
So back then, that's when we had Sky Pages, 1-800 Sky Pages.
Yes.
That's before your time.
Wait, I don't
Way
even know what
before
you're
her
talking
That's
about.
before your time. So Puff hit me on the Sky Pager, and
Wow.
This
we
is
set up a
crazy.
meeting at Uptown Records because originally, Puffy was working at Uptown Records with Andre Harrell,
Yes.
the late great
R.I.P.
Andre Harrell.
Yes.
Yes.
So we had a meeting there, and when we had the meeting, I will never forget. It was wintertime, winter coats on in the office, and out of nowhere, like maybe 2-3 minutes in the meeting, Puff asked Big to rhyme. He's like, kick a rhyme right now.
On the spot.
On the spot. I don't remember the rhyme, but he kicked the rhyme. And after Big kicked the rhyme, Puff was like, I can have a record out on you by the summer. Would you be cool with that?
Right.
And once again, Big with the shyness. Yo, just talk to C, yo. Whatever, talk to C.
You the middleman.
I love it.
And, I originally had Big signed as a production deal through my company Nasty African Productions.
Oh, wow.
Where's that name come from?
Nasty African Production. We'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
Shout out to my boy Scrap in here. He know about Nasty African.
Shout out to Scrap Lover.
So I had Big signed to my production company, Nasty African Productions.
Okay.
But when I started doing the deal with with Puff for Uptown Records, well, I'm going a little bit too fast. After meeting with Puff, we had to meet with Andre Harrell.
Right.
So we had a second meeting with Andre Harrell, and we in Andre Harrell, and he takes us to Sylvia's restaurant. in Harlem.
Yes.
Oh, Sylvia.
The famous
Classic,
Sylvia's.
yes.
Yes.
So on the ride up there, we just talking shop, just regular talk. We go eat. Big tear some food up. Eating everything in sight.
Everything.
Right.
So on the way back to Uptown Records, back to Midtown, out of nowhere, Andre Harrell asked Biggie to kick around. He tried to do the same thing Puff did. But this time we was ready. I had an instrumental beat on cassette.
What was to what?
I can't remember the
All
beat.
right.
So I asked Andre and Puff, I'm like, can I put a beat in? Like, I put the cassette on.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah. So I put the cassette on, and Big started rhyming. By the time we got in front of Uptown Records, Andre Harrell shaking our hands. All right, so Puff will do the paperwork, and we will get everything going, and we will,
They was ready.
They was ready. And
'cause
then we
Big was
started.
ready.
Then we started doing the deal. But when we started doing the deal, they did not want us. They didn't want me signing him to my. They didn't want it to be a production deal. They wanted to sign him direct.
Okay.
So I had to make a decision. Like, did I want to hold Biggie back
Right.
and just look for a deal to where the record label would want to sign him to my production company, or do I let him go and then get some points off the album or whatever? So I decided to let Big go and get points off the album.
I think that
and it
was
worked
the
out.
wise decision.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's
plus,
fire.
like, realistically, people can say whatever they want to say about Puff. I don't know if anybody else would be able to do what Puff did with Big. Because Big was raw, as you heard the demos.
Yes.
And he was raw, but
Puff gave him a polish.
Yeah.
Puff polished him up, and
Yeah.
then with Juicy sampling the M2 made Juicy Fruit record, and then Big Papa sampling the Isley Brothers.
Yes.
Like, all of that was Puff. That wasn't Big.
So tell us about that. So the whole process of being in the studio during the making of the Ready to Die album, you have production credit on one of the most classic, in my opinion, top 5 hip hop albums of all time.
Definitely.
What was that process like, being in that room? What memories do you flash back on when you hear that album
I'm gonna
today?
tell y'all something that a lot of people don't know about the Ready to Die album. That album took like 2 years to make.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
That
I
album took
didn't
2 years
either.
to make. So as I mentioned earlier, Puff was originally working for Andre Harrell at Uptown Records.
Right.
So when we did the deal originally, Biggie was signed to Uptown Records.
Okay.
There was no Bad Boy
Boy.
Records at the time.
Right.
He was signed to Uptown, so he was on the same record label with Heavy D and Mary J. Blige
Yes.
and Father MC and
Yes.
Jodeci. All right?
Okay.
So we started recording the first half of the album. So that's around 92.
Okay.
All right? So Biggie comes out with this song called Dreams of F and the R&B Chick.
Classic song.
So when they did that song, if you remember some of the lyrics, he's talking about having sex with Patti LaBelle.
Yes.
He's talking about
Regina Bell.
Yeah,
you probably
yeah,
do
yeah.
me swell. Yes.
And he's talking about having sex with Raven Simone.
Yes.
Like it's just he just was wilding.
Very.
Patti LaBelle was on MCA Records, which was the major label that was distributing for Uptown.
Okay.
Are y'all following me?
Yes.
Okay. Raven Simone was an artist on MCA. So when Big was talking about having sex with Patti LaBelle, the presidents, the big higher ups at
It's an
MCA,
uproar.
they went to Andre and was like, yo, what is this dude doing? He's
Right.
like, talking about having sex with our other artists, our major artists. And so they told Andre they got to drop him off the label.
No.
You got to drop him off of
Because
Uptown.
of that song.
Because of the song.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So
Andre obviously didn't listen.
no, he
Right.
did listen. He had no choice. So they dropped Big off of Uptown.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm giving you some
You
jewels.
giving us some jewels tonight? I
Because
didn't know
of
that.
the one song.
Because
Because
of
it was wrong,
dreams of
right,
F and an
right.
R&B
But
chick.
when Andre when he dropped him off, when he was forced to drop him off the label.
Right.
When they dropped him off the label, half of Ready to Die was done. So this is 92, early 93. It was half of the album was done. So after they dropped Big, then Puff was like, I'm out. You know what I mean? So then Puff quit.
On the strength of, I got that much faith in Biggie that if he's out, I'm out.
Yeah, and I just think overall, I can't really speak for Puff, but I think it was a combination of the Biggie situation, but also Puff wanted to grow.
Okay.
He was the A&R of Uptown.
Okay.
He wanted to grow.
Makes sense.
So now Puff leaves Uptown. Biggie gets dropped from Uptown, but half of Ready to Die is done.
Right.
So when Puff started Bad Boy through Arista, Clive Davis, Puff had to make a decision. Do I re-record the whole Ready to Die album, or do I buy half of the masters from Andre and then pick up from where we left off?
Okay.
So Puff decided to buy half of the album from Andre Harrell, and it's rumored that he brought it for like $1 million.
I was going to say, that sounds like an expensive
Right, especially
because half of the
buy.
album was done.
Yeah.
Now, if you really listen to the Ready to Die album, and a lot of people don't really listen thoroughly, half of the album is done in like 92, 93, and then records like Juicy, Big Papa, Unbelievable was done more closer to when the album came out. The album came out September of 94.
Okay.
So when you listen to a song like Give Me the Loot,
Yes.
right?
That's my shit.
Oh, that's my
Okay, I know every word.
Biggie's voice sounds a lot younger.
It does. Yes.
That's because that record, that was one of the first records we did. So when you hear Biggie's voice, it's like his vocal tone is
Yes,
much younger.
It is. Yeah.
My man Jim left a at my crib. Turned himself in, he had to do a bid. A 1 to 3, he be home the end of 93. I'm ready to get this paper, G. You with me?
So his voice is a little bit higher because he was.
I was about to do the next part.
His voice is a little bit higher, right? Because, you know,
and even there, he's doing the two different
Right.
right, he
parts
did the
of
two different voices, but
conversation.
even
Right.
even of the song like "Ready to Die," the actual title track,
Yeah.
you just listen to how young he sounds.
Okay.
Like,
As I grab the put it to your headpiece. Hold the chamber. The safety is off. Release straight at your dome. I want to see cats.
Yes.
so,
And by contrast, you say
but by, you know, say by
juicy or
Juicy or Unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
To the fullest.
Only
I
you
see.
could be able to really point that out.
I never
Yes.
noticed that before. Wow. Yeah.
So,
But it's also a year and a half difference of refining the talent.
and and how about the confidence?
Right.
You know,
Yes.
his confidence
He's really
also
in it
picked
now.
up too as well.
Exactly.
So his rhyme flow back in like 92, you got to remember in 92, 91, 92, even like 93, the style of rap, you had like Onyx.
Yes.
You had like Leaders of the New School
Yes.
where they was like, Slim!
Yes.
They was more high
It was
pitch.
high,
Right.
yes.
You had like Black Moon, you know what I mean? Like a little bit more
Right.
high pitch. As it got more into 94, 95, everybody started slowing their pace of rap
Smoother.
a little bit.
Okay.
Everything started to sound a little bit, the voices started becoming deeper and more slower. And he recognized that. So a combination of that. But the album was recorded in a 2-year time.
That's amazing. You learned it here
Yes.
first on Fine Wine and Good
It's like
Times.
blowing my mind because as you explain it, I can literally hear the
Right.
difference.
Yes.
And it does, like, it makes a difference.
It
You
really
can-
does.
Yeah,
That's-
like, you know, and like, so all the songs that we all know and love, the Juicies, the Big Papas, even One More Chance, Unbelievable, those songs was done more closer to when the album was released as opposed to, you know, the songs I just played for you. You
I'm
know
going
what
to
I mean?
ask you a tough question.
Sure.
What's your favorite track on the album?
My favorite track is there's a song on the album called "Friend of Mine." That's one of my favorite songs. Don't ask me why. There's no particular attachment I have with the record because I didn't do any scratches on the song. But
Were you there when it was recorded?
nah, I wasn't even there. Easy Mo B, my childhood friend, produced the song, but
Right.
I don't know why, ladies. But that's just my favorite song because, but it's like throughout the years, like the Juicies, the Big Papas, the One More, I can't stand them records. I just can't.
You just played them
they're so
out.
commercial.
Yeah,
probably
I
at
can't.
this
I
point.
can't. Like but like
Machine
the
Gun
record that
Funk.
you don't get to hear often.
Okay.
Is the song that I like.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I have an unreleased version of the what?
And
Shut up.
that brings me to
With
my next
different
question.
rhymes.
See?
Shut up.
See? I'm so glad you
With different
segued
rhymes.
into
Shut
that.
up.
See?
Because that's my song.
Okay.
Of course, that's
For
your
real.
song. So I have a different version of the what.
Wow.
I'm gonna play a piece of
My
it.
Can we-
brothers
yes,
are
can we
gonna
get a little
go
taste of that?
crazy.
Can we get a little
Yeah,
taste of that?
I'm gonna give.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Now, just
That's one of my favorites. on that one.
Meth verses are the same, but there's parts where Biggie kind of changes his rhyme pattern.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to go straight to the part. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Y'all,
Stand by.
this is
that,
crazy.
That actually brings me to my next question, which is Show from BK wants to know what's up with the unreleased
Here's
Biggie tracks. Okay, listen up.
the Biggie rhyme is totally different than the intro.
All is taken. It's a marijuana and I make it. MCs break fast like flapjacks and bacon. Backspins and windmills. Who's still the gin drinker? Ill thinker.
Like
Smoke
what?
when the paper hits the ink. Grab the gangster chronicles to turn to page 666. The Holocaust, Big the Merciless. Hurry up and close the gate when my freestyle escapes. I'm giving young minds statutory rape. Motherfuckers thought I slipped, bust my lip, right? You didn't know the extra clips on my hip. You don't want none of me. Noname. Don't tempt me.
Whoa, because the M.E., he said none of me, and he said N-O-B.
Right.
I
So that's a
love
whole
it.
different rhyme.
That's crazy.
That's a whole different
Holy.
rhyme. Whole
Wow.
different rhyme.
All right, so what's up with the unreleased
I
Biggie
can't.
tracks? Show from Brooklyn.
Y'all getting treats tonight.
We are
No,
getting
like
treats
this
Y'all
is,
getting
tonight.
treats
I
tonight.
feel crazy
Yes.
right now.
My
Y'all getting treats
boy
tonight.
Show from Brooklyn told me to ask you, what's up with the unreleased tracks? So here's your answer. They here tonight.
Right, find them on Fine Wine and Good Times.
Yeah,
That's it.
They're here tonight.
I
That's
love
it.
it. I
This
love
is
it.
crazy.
All right, so now you're part of hip hop history. You were at Hot 97 in its heyday. The importance of a radio station and programming. The DJ to me was such a vital part of hip hop. Do you think it's the same today, or has that kind of changed a little bit on commercial radio?
On commercial radio, in particular, New York radio, speaking with Hot 97 and Power 105, I would say not as much. There's still an importance of when you have young rappers that may break on the internet or may break on TikTok or may break on their Instagram or whatever the case is. It's still the importance of when you're ready to take the record over the top, radio can help you with that.
Okay,
But it's not the end all to be all like it used to be.
right.
There's a lot of hit records that's out right now that doesn't get to shine the light of day on New York radio.
That's so true.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Were you able to control your programming? So when you reigned at Hot 97, you had your throwback at noon, right?
Uh-huh.
Were you able to pick the songs that you played, or did they have a programming list?
I was able to pick everything. Like
Oh,
when
that's dope.
whether it was when I did the throwback at noon, or I had another show on Hot 97 called Friday Night Live. So the Friday Night Live show is when I played all the current hip hop and R&B, and I full control. Whatever I wanted to play, I played, and only like towards the end of Hot 97, because I left Hot 97 in 2014. So towards the end, maybe the last 3 to 4 or 5 years of Hot 97. The station got playlisted a little bit more, where the DJs had to go by a playlist or whatever the case is. But in the heyday of what you're talking about, the 90s and the 2000s, with the
Yes.
Flex, the Mr. C's, the
Yeah.
Enoughs, the DJ Clues, and
That was like-
that
yeah.
heyday. It was
What was it? Magic? What happened at that time that radio was like such an integral part of life? The DJs were, the soundtrack of our lives. And now I don't necessarily hear people rushing to their radio for certain radio shows, except yours on 94.7 The Black.
Period.
But what do you think it was that made it magic back then?
back then it was the only thing happening. So in New York, you got to remember Hot 97 you know, Hot 97 started in 92. So Hot 97 was the first 24-hour all hip-hop radio station in the country, period.
Wow.
End of story. They was the first. We was the
Yeah.
first. So when you have that, and the internet wasn't prevalent.
Right.
You know, the phones, the access the way we got phones now wasn't prevalent.
You were the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically.
So we you know, like there was nothing you had to back then. You know, there was no apps, right? So if you was listening to Funkmaster Flex or DJ Enough or even a Mr. C, you lived in Canada, or if you lived in Kansas City, there was no app. So
Right.
you would get a recording of the show on a cassette or a CD
Oh, I
from
miss
somebody
those
else.
days.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And so it was just like
Yeah.
word of mouth, or a transferring of CDs everywhere
Right.
for you to find out what was going on. So because that was the only thing in town at that time.
Right.
So that's what made Hot 97 what it was back in its heyday in the 90s and even in the 2000s, was that it wasn't as accessible as everything is now. So now, you know, a kid can make their own playlist,
They
you know,
can.
and they don't have to wait for Hot 97
Right.
for them to play the, you know, for,
Right, what they wanna hear.
Right, they make
Yeah.
their own playlist, and
That's
they
a
make
fact.
it the way they want to make it. So if I want to have Ice Spice #1 song, and then I want to have an Afro Beats record #2, and then I want to have SZA song #3.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I can design it the
Customize.
way I want to design my
Yeah.
playlist.
Right.
I don't have to wait to hear the SZA record every other hour
But
on
it
the
don't
radio.
hit the same. There's something about having it cultivated. You know, a good DJ, somebody like yourself, the way that you put the songs together, the way that you have this ebb into that and flow into that, that's magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, but with the younger generation, and you probably could speak to this for you, you know, with the younger generation, time is limited.
Yeah, that's
Time
true.
is limited. They
Yeah.
ain't got time to be waiting,
Yeah,
man. They want
yeah.
it. They want it
Right
now.
now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's,
No, there's
That's
not.
fine. I mean, you with time comes progression, and you have to move with the time. So, like the strength of a Hot 97 now
Mm-hmm.
would be, I would assume, because I'm not there, but I would assume the strength of a Hot 97 and a Power 105 now is they have to use what they're doing on social media and mesh it together with what they're doing on the air to make everything
I got
kind of
you.
coincide with each
Yeah.
other, because the kids is going to their phone and going
They
on
are.
social
Right.
media
They are.
quicker than they are
They
going to the
absolutely
actual terrestrial radio, what we call it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know the last time I listened to the radio, but
Yeah.
every time I turn it on, I'll be like, oh, I should listen to the radio. Like
Right.
it's better than my Apple Music playlist
Absolutely
Right.
because
it is.
it's just a mixture of things.
Leave it to the professionals.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly. I did want to ask you a question. Going back to like DJs picking their own
Mm-hmm.
music. We do have a question from Tamika herself,
Oh,
even though she
good.
could not be here. She did have a
Yes.
question.
Okay.
I love it.
Her question was, do you believe that radio DJs are in control of someone's music career? So, like, for instance, if the DJ and a rapper have beef, is it still the DJ's duty to play the rapper's music, or does he have the right to not play it at all?
Tamika, that's a very good question.
You know
the
she
D-
liked to stir the pot.
I know.
If the DJ and the rapper have beef with each other,
Yes.
Right.
oh, well, all bets is off. The DJ ain't going to play the record. All bets is off.
Period.
Right.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Is
happen.
that like a DJ rule? Is just like a personal rule? Like, I don't care.
I mean, it's just it's a street rule. It's, it ain't got
Okay.
nothing to- you know, it's human being rules.
Right, right.
You know, like, you know, I'm not going to name names, but there's a DJ that's on New York radio now, and there was an issue there was a situation that happened with him and Cardi B. It was a kind of a misunderstanding.
Okay.
I won't get into details of what happened. You probably can Google it, I'm
Right.
sure. But when this situation happened with Cardi B, and Offset was involved somewhat too, because they was at a party together and something went down and whatever.
Damn.
But the DJs at the radio station that this DJ was from,
Okay.
and this is a New York station,
Right.
all the DJs at that station was like, off with your head. We're not playing Cardi. We're not playing Offset until this gets fixed.
Because they obviously on the
Because
side.
they looked at it like, you ain't gonna jump on our
It's a
coworker.
brotherhood.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
And so they was just, everybody was like,
Oh, wow.
and so Cardi and Offset had to fix it,
they had to fix that.
and they fixed
And they
it.
fixed
Right.
it because they on
Get
the
them
radio
streams.
again.
Hello. You
Yeah,
gotta
you
get
know what I
them
mean.
streams.
You know, so
Okay.
even in the sense of how two of the biggest superstars in hip hop, and Cardi B and Offset, at this point in their career, they may not need radio.
Right.
But they understood the importance of how
beginning.
you don't mess with the DJ like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Same thing with it was the Wiz Khalifa situation where I don't know if he something happened with Wiz Khalifa and a DJ, and I don't know if he broke the DJ's laptop or something. I don't know. Or he cut the DJ's record or something. Something Wiz Khalifa did disrespectful, and all the DJ community just went off on Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, I
The
like
whole
that.
community.
Yeah, just went off on social
Yeah,
media, and he
right.
he made a public apology, and
He fixed it.
I think he got the
Right.
DJ a new laptop and just or whatever the
okay,
case is, like
okay.
fixed it up. So as much as the DJ community is very competitive, but when we need to really get together, we'll get together.
I
and,
like
you
that.
know what I mean? Like,
I like that
Did
too.
Tamika have any other questions she phoned?
Let me see.
That
Let me
was a
check
good
my
one.
messages.
Before I forget, I want to know, how did you come to Nasty African Productions?
okay, so so when I was with Kane, Scoop and Scrap, when I was on the road with them, they gave me the nickname the Nasty African. That was my nickname.
Do I want to know why or no?
No,
Oh, all right,
I'll
okay.
tell you why.
All right.
I'll tell you why they call me the Nasty African. So, you know, at that time you're on the road and you getting it on with women on the road and stuff like that. So the first time I had sex on the road, we was in London,
Okay.
in the UK, and so had sex with the girl in London. So Kane, Scoop, and Scrap called the girl Umfufu. If you remember the
Yes,
old Eddie
from Eddie
Murphy,
Murphy.
they said the girl looked like Umfufu from Eddie
snap.
Murphy.
Eddie.
So between that and then I used to wear like leopard print brief under.
Pictures?
I used to wear the
no, I'm crying.
the straight Tarzan,
Wait.
not
So you were
boxes,
giving
the
very
briefs.
much-
Jungle. Oh,
Very much George of the
I used to wear
Jungle.
those.
Yes.
So between that and then the first time I broke my virginity on the
Yes.
road is with a ugly looking girl that looked like Umfufu.
Okay.
That's how they started calling me Nasty
Nasty
African.
African.
So on our second album, we all had pictures on the back of our album with our nicknames, and it was like Nasty African, a.k.a. N.A. They would call me N.A. for
I
short.
can't.
So I turned that around and made a production company out of it.
Said, you know what?
Make some money off of
Nasty
it.
Turn these lemons into lemonade.
I do have two questions. Well, a question and
like
then
that
like an
story.
advice thing.
Okay.
So my first question is, I'm curious, what is the craziest thing you've seen in the studio? You don't have to name names or nothing. The craziest thing. I'm curious.
You know what? To be honest with you, I haven't seen too much crazy stuff in the studio. Because even when me, Kane, and Scoob and Scrap was doing our thing, man, we ran a tight ship. We didn't really, any other extracurricular activity was more done on the road or done amongst whatever we did when we wasn't together.
Okay.
But when we came together, like to record and stuff like that, nah,
Business.
it was business. It
Right.
was, and then even going into like Biggie or any other studio session, nothing crazy.
That's good to hear.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
Nothing
good.
crazy.
Yeah.
What's
Okay,
your other
good.
question?
I just wanted to know. I have a friend. Her boyfriend is an up and coming DJ, and he's real nice. So I wanted to know if you had any advice for any up and
How
coming
old is he?
DJs. He's how old am I? 25. I think he's 25, 26.
Okay. Well, to him and all the DJs that's going to be probably
Shout out to
watching this
Tyler.
podcast,
Yes,
Tyler's
dope.
just to all the DJs young, and even some of the veterans too. Y'all got to be original, man. Like you DJs got to be original. There's just so many DJs that you could be influenced by another DJ. You can have somebody that you look up to and they're your idol, but it's just so many DJs that sounding like somebody else. Just like even in hip hop with the rappers, you got rappers that sound like somebody else,
Right.
or
Yes.
everybody want to be drill. Nobody wants to be out the box. It's the same thing in the DJ world. It's like there's so many DJs that want to sound like somebody else, or they talk like somebody else, or they
deep.
stealing somebody's set.
Style,
So
yeah.
when I'm saying stealing somebody's set, if I do a certain set of records, I play a certain order,
It's a session.
and right, and then the next DJ is stealing actually
Yeah,
everything I just
what you-
did.
That's so corny. Where's the originality?
So
Right.
but it's not a lot of originality in DJing because a lot of DJs don't really take their time to put the work in.
It's easier to follow your formula.
Yeah, but that's corny. That's like you just
Yeah,
said. That's
it's corny.
That's
That's
corny.
corny.
So
Facts.
I just tell all DJs, just be original. think, man. Just think. Just think. It don't take nothing to just think.
That's
Because
it.
we're all individuals, right? We all our own human beings. We all got our own. We can live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and think for ourselves, right? And do
Absolutely.
for ourselves.
Yes.
So as a DJ, why you can't think for yourself and
Exactly.
just be creative?
Yes.
That's the main thing. Just be yourself. If you be yourself, you're gonna last a very, very long time in this business. Like I said, I'm 56. I've been DJing since I was 12.
Yeah.
So you're talking what, 44,
Yeah.
40 some odd years
Yes.
of DJing.
Yes.
And one of the main reasons why I would say that I'm still able to do this is because of my originality. I don't sound like
Absolutely.
nobody else. I don't try to play like nobody else.
Absolutely.
Right.
I don't even listen to other DJs. Like I don't even, as far as
I love that.
I don't even.
You don't want to be inspired,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Influenced by.
I always try to keep the creative juices going to be original. So that would be my
I
main
love
advice.
it.
Yes.
That's great advice from a legend.
It
And you're so
is.
much of a legend in hip hop that you are a character in Grand Theft Auto. How did that
Oh my
process
God, you
come
bringing up the
about?
woodworks.
How did that process? I mean, that's not every day that you see that.
I
Grand Theft
know.
Auto is, such a major part of the culture.
You bringing
And-
up the woodworks.
Yes, you're in there. How did that come about? What was that process like?
Shout out to my man Adam Tedman from Rockstar Games.
Okay. Shout out.
Right.
He
Hey, Adam.
he had asked me to be a part of Grand Theft Auto 4. I want to say it right. Grand Theft Auto, I think it was Liberty City, but it was Grand Theft Auto 4. It was the whole game was based on New York.
Right.
So myself, Bobby Condas and Jabba, which is legendary reggae DJs here in New
Yes,
York.
they are.
Green Lantern, I think, was a part of it. He wanted us to have the beat in the game as far as having a radio station.
Okay.
So I think it was called 1027 The Beat, if I'm
Okay.
correct. And we all had, different radio stations where we would play like a 30-minute mix of hip-hop, reggae, whatever.
Crazy.
And I was a part of it. But that wasn't the only game I was a part of. See, if you really did your homework,
Ah.
there was another video game that I was a part of.
Wait a minute. My little skills is lacking.
So I was a part of Grand Theft Auto 4, and then my man Adam Tedman from Rockstar came back and asked me to be a part of the Warriors video games.
Oh, wow.
So the Warriors, based on the classic movie,
Yes.
they came out with a video game, and I was one of the voices in the all black gang.
That's crazy.
in the
Wow.
Warriors. So
How does
So
that
what's that
feel?
like? You go in
I
the
was gonna
studio,
say,
right?
like-
I had to go in the studio and do everything with my voice and stuff like that. To be honest, ladies, it wasn't like an all-day thing. It didn't take, like even when I did the thing for Grand Theft Auto with the mix, that was like a 20-minute mix. So I did that
Wow.
in my sleep. I recorded it at Hot 97.
You make it sound so easy.
Yeah, they gave me they gave me the copy points of what to say. 102 The Beat. Whatever.
Okay.
All the different cities in the video game I had to shout out.
Fire.
They just gave me a sheet to shout out. I knocked that out in 20 to 30 minutes, however long the mix was.
That's crazy.
The video game thing, I did that in another studio, but I was a part of the all black gang in the Warriors. So the stuff they had me say was so quick. But I got a check for both, and it was
love
a
it.
great experience.
Yes.
But
Right.
a great experience.
I can only imagine.
You've gone down in history. I want to ask a question. What makes a great song, a classic song? What are the components of a great song?
A great hook, a very, very catchy hook. A hook that's like universal, like that's just like hip hop hooray, ho! I don't
right.
care how old, what nationality,
You
where you
doing
come
that.
from on planet Earth.
That's a fact.
Just a catchy hook. Rap, the rap that's simple and to the point. It don't have to be the most intricate rap, but just simple to the point. And I think that's what a lot of rappers today.
A lacking.
They're making a lot of great hit records for the moment,
Right.
but they're not making classics that's going to last throughout time.
Stand the test of time.
But one of the few that has stood within the test of time within the last, say, 10, 12 years is Hot Nigga by Bobby Shmurda.
Oh, what?
So when you hear that song, it's simple. What I said, simple to the point.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Beat is just a simple beat.
And you say that will have staying power.
It has staying power.
Right, right.
That's one of the
I'm gonna be doing that when I'm 60.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Right.
one of the few records that has.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I do parties
I
for
want to
50.
see you doing that when you're 60.
I DJ parties now for 50 and 60 year olds.
yeah.
And they go crazy over that record.
That's crazy.
I'm dead.
Because of it's the simplicity of the record. The record is very simple.
Yeah.
I'm a Boss by Meek Mill. Very simple. Look, I've been riding.
Yes.
Dreams
Yes.
and nightmares. Like
Okay,
these are
right.
like simple records. You know what I
Got
mean?
you.
So just keep it simple, stupid. If you want to make a
I
classic.
like that. All right, I'm going to hit you with some speed round questions.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
All right. Top 5 rappers dead or alive?
Oh shit.
In no particular order.
In no particular order.
Big Daddy Kane.
Love it.
Jay-Z. Rakim.
Uh-huh.
Nas. B.I.G.
That's an excellent top
What?
5. I mean, it's
a
kind of
fire
hard to
top
argue with that.
For real.
That might be the best top 5 I've heard so far. All right, top 3 female MCs.
Top 3 female MCs ever. Lauryn Hill.
Oh.
Excellent.
Lauryn Hill. Little Kim.
I love Kim.
And Nicki Minaj.
Ooh.
You giving that to Nicki?
I gotta give
Go
it
ahead,
to
Nikki Dan.
I gotta give it to Nicki.
Okay.
Because you said 3. If
said
you gave me
3.
5, I would have squeezed
Hit
2
me
more.
with the other 2. Hit me with the other 2.
Latifah and Light.
Okay.
I was gonna say you gotta have Teeth
All right,
in there.
all right.
That's my girl
All right.
for real.
Okay.
I love her.
Favorite verse in a rap song?
2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhymes. So I said this rhyme
I'm about to say.
The rhyme was deaf.
And it went this way. Okay. So Dr. Dre, Kanye, Pharrell, Timbaland. Who's the best producer?
You said Dr. Dre.
Kanye, Pharrell, Timbaland. Your favorite?
Out of those 4,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Hard
go.
one.
I'm gonna go with Kanye. I'ma go with
Controversial
Kanye.
choice. Why?
Just Kanye is just very diverse. His production style throughout his career has just been very diverse.
It has.
Just very well-rounded, very diverse. Not to say that the other ones aren't, but and I think, yeah, I just feel like he's very diverse in his production style.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
Yes.
I love the honesty. Mr. C, what's up next? I know that the people can listen to you on 94.7 The Block. Your 1-year anniversary is coming up there.
Yeah, I'm 94.7
In New York
The Block.
City?
Yeah, 94.7 The Block, 94.7 The Block in New York City.
Yes.
We play classic hip hop and R&B all day, every day,
day.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I'm gonna
Yes,
start listening to the
me
radio.
too.
And I'm on Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. with the Throwback at noon, playing nothing but classic hip hop and R&B.
Nice.
Miss Jones is on in the morning. We got Ed Love on at night.
Yes.
We just bring back Cypher Sounds. If y'all remember Cypher Sounds from High 97, he's on.
Absolutely.
But May 2nd will be a year that I've been on 94.7 The Block. If you love classic hip hop and R&B, so many people, especially here in New York, they complain about, I get tired of hearing the trap and
Yes.
the drill. And, well, you got a station 24 hours a day
Well,
where you
I'm
can
glad
hear it.
to know
Right.
it.
Yes.
And if you're, you can listen to it on the traditional radio.
Okay.
Or you can download the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. AUDACY app. You download the free Odyssey app, and you listen to 94.7 The Block. You won't regret it. I promise you.
All right.
You won't regret
And
it.
you're also on Rock the Bells Radio
I'm
on
also
Sirius.
I'm also on LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio.
Shout out to LL Cool J.
Yeah, on
Yep.
Sirius XM channel 43. That's coming up on 3 years.
Wow. Happy anniversary.
Yeah,
Yes.
in March it'll be 3 years.
Yes.
I got LL hired me in the pandemic, March
I
of
love it.
2020.
Fire.
So yeah, I do that. The name of the show on Rock the Bells is called The Set It Off Show.
Love it.
Named after the famous Big Daddy Kane song.
Yes.
So and Rock the Bells Radio, same thing. We play classic hip hop from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Okay.
So that's Sirius XM channel 43. I'm on Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. to midnight. So anybody with Sirius throughout the whole North America, America and Canada, you can hear me. Because Sirius is for the whole country.
It's everywhere.
So and we're coming up on we're getting ready to do the Rock the Bells cruise. That's
cruise?
coming up in November. We're sailing from Miami to the Bahamas.
Oh man,
November what?
November, I'm gonna say 7. It's on my Instagram. So I want to say
Send us some details on
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
please.
Yeah, because I
we
got
might
a
wanna
birthday
be
that
there.
month, and I'm just trying to figure out something to do.
yeah. So we're doing the Rock the Bells cruise. We got the Rock the Bells concert coming again in August in New
yes.
York. Oh, we did that last year in New York. We got that
missed
coming
it.
up.
I went
I
one
wanted to
time. It
go.
was on Governor's Island. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Right.
Just
Well,
a sea of people.
Well, that Rock the Bells wasn't LL owned.
Okay.
That was
That
through
was a
another
different-
company.
I got you.
So LL
is right.
got
Doing
the
it
name
this-
from
oh,
Right, I
yeah.
like
He took the name from them, and then
Okay.
now we're doing
Now I
our
need
Rock
to
the
be
Bells.
down with
Yeah.
this
So the
one. All right.
last year was the first one.
Okay.
And it was in Queens, and we're coming back with that again in August, and then
Nice.
we got the cruise in November.
I love it.
Shoot.
Mr. C, DJ Mr. C, thank you so much
Yes.
for joining
Thanks
us.
for having me. Thanks
at
for
Fine
having
Wine
me.
and Good Times. And just everywhere you are, I don't care where you are, find a way to listen to this brother because you will not be disappointed. This is
Really.
where good music is played, classic hip hop and R&B, and we thank you so
Yeah.
much for
and
joining us.
you can follow me Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at DJ Mr. C. DJ MISTERCEE. When you see my page, you see all the parties that I do all around the tri-state area. I'm working all the time. So I don't care if you're young, old, I'm playing I'm going from Ice Spice to Give Me Your Love, Give Me That Love.
Exactly.
I'm playing for all ages. So
Which is important because
Yeah.
me and my daughter's 30-something, and when we party together, she want to hear her Ice Spice, and I need that Give Me That Love.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you want to, I do a party. It's called the Inkwell.
Okay.
All right. It's in Manhattan. It's an after work party.
Yes, that's
All
grown
right.
and sexy.
It's after work, so we do it from 5 to 11.
Okay.
All right, and it's every Friday.
Right.
So I do. It's a husband and wife that are the promoters.
Okay.
Shout out to Kevin and Shaw, DJ Sugar Daddy.
Nice.
Shout out
So
to
we do
y'all.
every Friday, 5 to 11 after work. But it's a very well mixed crowd.
That's
so
what
it's
I
like
like.
it's basically 30 and over.
Yes.
All right.
Which is great.
Right. So I'm playing Bobby Schmurda,
Yes.
but I'm playing Give Me Your Love. I'm
Exactly.
playing So there's people in there celebrating their 40th birthday, their
And they-
50th birthday, their
30th.
60th birthday.
Right.
Love that.
I love it.
Yes.
So
I love it.
Next
we pulling
Friday.
up.
So next Friday the 17th, we got Howard Hewitt performing.
Oh, that's a throwback.
He's performing live there. We just did Ronald Isley like 2-3 months ago.
Mr.
Mr. Biggs
Yeah,
in the
it was
building.
wall to wall in there. It was
Oh
wall to
my
wall.
God.
So
Wow.
we got Howard Hewitt from
Okay.
Shalimar. He's
Yes,
performing.
yes.
And then April 28th we have Shantae Moore.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
love Shantae.
Shantae's got a man.
Yeah,
honey.
but it's a very well mixed crowd. Like there's people your age that come because we
Yes.
play for everybody.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I would come.
You're gonna hear the
Anybody
Benjamin.
that likes good music.
Right, good
Right.
music.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear the Benjamins. You're gonna hear 50 Cent I Get Money, but then
Yes.
you also gonna hear, some
Exactly.
Melissa Morgan,
I love
Fool's
it.
Paradise.
I
You're gonna hear a
love
little bit of everything.
Follow Mr. C on all social media platforms so you know exactly where he's going to be and where the party's at. And chances are we'll be there too because I'm going to be stalking you from now on.
I was
And
gonna say, I need a nice
Tamika,
party.
don't be asking me questions on the phone. You should have been here.
That's a fact.
I hope to meet you next time, Tamika. God
Yes, so
bless
we're
you.
going to have Mr. C back again when Tamika's here. And in the meantime, thank you so much for joining
Thanks for
us
Yes,
having me.
thank you.
tonight.
This was great.
This was
Like,
fantastic.
I'm honored for
Yes.
real. I really
Thank
am.
you.
We
for
are
having
in the presence of greatness.
We got
Thank you.
we got never heard before
I
demos
know.
of freaking
I know,
Biggie
unreleased
Smalls.
Biggie tracks.
Jeez.
Be sure
My
to
heart is
like,
being
share,
vexed.
and subscribe to the podcast. Tell all your friends because you don't want to miss out on great content every
Right.
time.
Oh, and thank you for the book, for sure. Thank you.
and
I
please
appreciate
let
it.
me know your thoughts.
Get this book. Get it.
Yes.
Y'all, real
Thank
quick.
you.
Buy it now.
I finished that
Buy
book.
it now.
I finished it and I can't get over it still.
Yes, Shy called me very emotional.
I did.
At several points in the story. It is a heart-rending tale about black male pain and trauma.
It's
so
beautiful,
I'm very
though.
interested to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Even if you have to listen to the audiobook. Keep that in your collection. Listen to the audiobook while you're on your travels or whatever you got to do. But thank you.
All right,
Yes.
continue success, ladies.
Thank you.
Hold on,
and yes,
get
let's
me-
let's get our
so we can
glasses
cheers
full. You
up.
got your water, Mr. C. Cheers.
We lit. We lit.
Yes.
We lit.